So I just found a very interesting video here. I was on YouTube the other day, and on the sidebar I found a video of David Wolfe critiquing Dr. John McDougall and Dr. Dean Ornish. This should be interesting.
Here's where we run into problems. When McDougall, Ornish, and all that crew are saying a 4-year-old needs to be on that kind of a diet. That's where we run into problems. I see those cases. People come to me and they're like, my husband went to a lecture and there was all these doctors and they're saying, you know, you have to have very low fat and you need to have like a lot of vegetables and no salt at all ever, absolutely not. No oil ever, absolutely not. And I've got a 2 and a 4-year-old and they're running over to the neighbor's house and they're just gorging themselves on eggs or gorging themselves on cheese. They're gorging themselves on some fat. And they're gorging themselves on salt. I was like, well, thank God your kids have instincts.
Interesting. So let's just work with that right now, what he just said about Ornish, McDougall, and basically all the plant-based doctors advocating a low-fat, no-oil, whole food plant-based diet. I don't really understand where he's coming from, the salt take. I mean, they're not recommending a no-salt diet. I mean, in fact, Dr. McDougall is pretty lenient on the salt. Why don't we check out what he has to say?
Salt is a primary taste of the human being. You might remember from your high school or junior high biology that the tip of the tongue tastes salt with pleasure. Was that a mistake of nature? No, it wasn't. People are supposed to eat salt. In fact, we're supposed to seek salt. As a matter of fact, I can substantiate scientifically and logically that if you don't get enough sodium, you risk illness. You're compromising your body. You're asking your body to make huge adjustments to conserve whatever little minerals available. And as a result, there's evidence that you increase your risk of heart disease and death. I mean, from really good studies. And so eating a low-salt diet is not going to translate into better health for you. I'll tell you why a high-sodium diet or high-salt diet is dangerous. It's because of the company that salt keeps. Salt is mixed up with bad foods like salami and cheese, you know, your lunch meats. That's where the salt comes from, and that's where the problem is. When you eat a high salt diet, you're eating all of these dangerous foods. You like salt, I want you to enjoy your diet. Put a little salt on the surface of the food, you'll be happy as long as the food that you put that salt on is healthy food, starches, vegetables, and fruits. You'll lose weight, excess weight, and you'll regain the health you've lost.
So, as you can see, Dr. McDougall's not too worried about the salt. And to be honest, I'm not too worried about the salt either. I mean, if you want to have a little bit of salt, that's fine. I don't see any conflict there with the whole salt thing. But the no oil, that's a big issue, because if you're coming from a place where you have conditions like heart disease, diabetes, oil's not going to be your friend. Oil's not going to do you any good. It is the culprit. You want to get that fat out of that system immediately. I mean, last time I checked, David Wolfe has not published in any of the peer-reviewed scientific journals out there. Okay, he's criticizing Dr. John McDougall, Ornish, and I'm assuming many more of the same background. Dr. McDougall and Ornish, I know for a fact, have published well-known medical journals. One with Ornish showing the reversal of heart disease. You know, Dr. McDougall is working on multiple sclerosis right now. He's had success with diabetes. I just don't know. I mean, what is David Wolfe's title anyway? Next, let's tackle the issue of childhood nutrition. Okay, he's saying a 4-year-old should not be eating fruits, vegetables, whole grains, legumes. Well, for one fact, these are pretty much the 4 food groups America and other Western civilizations are lacking in. So I'm really scratching my head here. If David Wolfe doesn't want children eating those types of foods, what would he rather have children eating instead? Honey, which causes botulism in infants. Cacao, otherwise known as cacao, which is full of theobromine, which is a neurotoxin, and full of caffeine as well, which is not good for your adrenal glands, and probably not very good for your bones as well. Or would he rather have children eating colostrum? If you don't know what colostrum is, it's a very early form of cow's milk, and it's lower in fat, higher in protein, which increases the chances of developing type 1 diabetes and osteoporosis later in life, and many other problems associated with that. Or would David Wolfe like to have children on any of those supplements right behind him, including deer antler? Yeah, I said it. deer antlers.
Okay, that's biodynamic farming. So that's what it's indicating, is that energies are flowing into the cosmos or flowing out of the earth and up, and they're being concentrated in certain substances, like a deer's antler. So when you take a deer antler product, that's not some joke. That's not some like, oh, we're taking this supplement now. That's a very deeply intuitive read that many, many sages in the history of our planet tuned into, and we're like, that's where the prana is concentrated, right there. So unless we really have that kind of mindset of like, whoa, this is a product of a very long, intuitive development of an idea, then we might just be stuck in this whole very superficial reality of like, oh, I'm taking this product. Deer antler is not a product. It's a cosmic substance because it's cosmic in nature. It's elevating. It's levitational in its nature, which actually it makes you younger. Forces of levity make you younger. Rudolf Steiner, if you recall what I said the first night here, Rudolf Steiner said that we gradually age due to substances in our body that are seized by the Earth's gravity. He could have said anything. He could have said anything at all, but he said that.
I mean, excuse me if I'm wrong, but isn't this the guy that tried to debunk Carl Sagan, one of the most influential and prestigious astronomers ever? To be honest, there's no surprise why he's recommending these foods. I was on the David Wolfe diet years ago, and I was living off refined powders out of bags. And so having cacao and honey as a form of sugar, which to be honest with you, is a poor form of sugar that comes with a lot of other bad stuff in there. How else are you going to get your energy? You're going to be feeling like crap living off powders and stuff. The only thing I would recommend out of David Wolfe's program is goji berries, which is just dried fruit. So anyways, let's continue to hear what else he has to say.
This is super important. A healing diet is very different from a maintenance and lifestyle diet. Very different concept. And when we start mapping those over each other, problems will arise. The basis of all diet, before carbohydrates, before protein, before fats and oils, is water and salt. And once you strip away, if you've been a raw foodist for years, you find that out. Once you strip away every processed food, you don't have any salt sneaking into your body ever in any way, you start to find out that you need salt. It may take a couple years. All of a sudden you're like, I need to put some weight on here.
Okay, let me just get the salt thing out of the way, then we'll touch on the other stuff. Salt is not a health food. If you want to put a little bit on your starch, as Dr. McDougall says, to eat the food, that's all he cares about, is as long as you eat the food, that's fine. But don't get me or Dr. McDougall wrong. Salt is not a health food. It has been shown to contribute to osteoporosis. It's not good for your bones. It causes water retention. It's not good for your kidneys. It causes high blood pressure. Salt is not a health food. A little bit, sure, that's fine, that's manageable, and no worries there. So David Wolfe claims that a diet that's therapeutic and healing should be different than a diet that's sustainable for life. I highly disagree. The diet that makes you healthy for life should be the diet that cures people as well. I don't see the differences here. You look at a program like Dr. Esselstyn's program, which cures the #1 killer in the world, right? Heart disease is the #1 killer, and what does he recommend? Fruits, vegetables, whole grains, legumes. That's the program that's going to keep you healthy for life, is whole plant-based foods. And this diet does not only cure heart disease, it's been shown to cure diabetes, in some forms of cancer as well, osteoporosis. It's treating so many things, and people stay on it for life and they stay healthy. So this whole thing about you should use a certain diet to heal yourself and then a different diet to sustain for life, no, that's all sales pitches. What you need to do is get on the program that you're going to be on for the rest of your life right now. Fruits, vegetables, legumes, whole grains. That's it. So that's all I really have to say about this. I thought it was very surprising that he was coming after Dr. McDougall and Dr. Dean Ornish, and basically plant-based doctors and health professionals advocating a whole food plant-based diet for the treatment and sustaining of a healthy diet. So that's all I have to say about David Wolfe. I have nothing against David Wolfe. Everything I spoke about was just my comments and criticisms on the health advice that he was providing. So this is not a personal attack at all. But what I have to tell you guys out of obligation as a dietetic student is be careful who you get your health advice from. look at their credentials. Do they have professional credentials? Are they an MD, an RD? Are they some form of a health professional giving professional health advice? Is their advice being backed up by scientific peer-reviewed journals? So just please be smart who you get your health advice from. And the stuff you hear from me too, don't take the stuff that comes out of my mouth as the truth. I want you to find the evidence out there. Do your own research. Look up studies. Is what I'm saying not only making sense, but are other people talking about this? Is it published in the peer-reviewed journals? Okay, don't just be careful where you get your health advice from. So thanks for watching. Hope you enjoyed this video. Give it a like if you did. Subscribe down below for more vegan videos and lifestyle tips from me, the Bananiac. So until next time, have the best life ever.
He could have said anything. He could have said anything at all, but he said that.